market is making a heavy switch from extracts that were previously extracted in mass quantities through methods using solvents such as butane, hexane, pentane, even alcohol and ethanol. And these are all ways that to basically strip the cannabinoids off the plant matter. So these are basically just different ways of stripping off cannabinoids from the plant matter. However, solventless is just done with ice and water, and this is as natural as it can come. The irony of it, though, to be technically specific, water is actually considered a solvent. However, in cannabis, we refer to ice water extraction methods being solventless. And this is to differentiate basically the organic way versus the synthetic way, where you're using hydrocarbons to extract the cannabinoids and the terpenes off the plant. And if you can do that with just ice water, why introduce all these toxic chemicals and make a flammable, combustible environment that's super dangerous for people to work in, on top of just the simplicity of just literally basically stirring up your nugs of weed in ice water, pouring it through bags that strain out, and then freeze drying the remains and then pressing that through a heat press. It's very simple steps. There's definitely more technique, and it's not just anyone can do. It's an art form. So I don't want to oversimplify it, but in comparison to using hydrocarbons, where it's the same as the oil refineries, it's literally taking what they take crude oil and they refine it to gasoline, is the exact same type of science and steps that happen for cannabis to get converted to oil in non-solventless ways. So there's just tons of room for error. There's tons of chemicals involved. It's just not a natural process. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for the people doing it. So there's a lot of pluses to having solventless. Plus, it keeps the entire plant intact, the cannabinoid structure, the terpene ratio, the terpene content. So if you do single source extraction on specific strains of flower in a solventless manner, you're going to get the true way that nature intended that plant to affect you. However, you're not going to have any of the plant matter. So when you do smoke it, it's just going to be the specific things that you need to smoke to feel the effects needed, rather than smoking all that plant matter that you do in a joint, where you're smoking these leaves ultimately just to get the little crystals on the leaf, the effect from that. So as you know, Zotix is only about high quality. However, we have a solventless hash product coming, and not only a dabbable product, but we also have a hash rosin pen. So this is very few in the industry have this, and the pen technology is still early. We were fortunate to get some really great working pen technology that burns the live rosin at a specific temperature, and also the heat dissipates at a specific rate. So this all is determinant on how the pen lasts, on how it tastes, on how it smokes to the end. So good way to know this is if your pen is not tasting good halfway through, or if it's starting to taste burnt. So this is all stuff for another video we'll go deeper into. Some solventless hash rosin. This is coming out from Zotix. What hash does is it takes those crystals off the leaf, puts it in one thing. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. It smells better than fresh cannabis. And that's because all the terpenes are concentrated down. So there's really no drawback to hash and hash rosin. The only drawback historically has been the price. It's all about quality in is what you get out. So if you put in mediocre weed, you're going to get mediocre hash and hash rosin out. So if you put in the best weed, you're going to get the best hash rosin out. So what happens is back when cannabis prices were higher, it was more advantageous to just sell it as flower, because you could get double, triple the price just selling it as flower and not having to deal with all the extraction. Nowadays, with cannabis prices dropping, and on top of that, here in California, we have an oversupply of cannabis cultivation, especially farms, light depths, outdoors. And it just so happens that these type of growing methods are the best for hash production. So it's almost equalized itself out, where the market, people who smoke flower are all gravitating towards indoor flower, which last year put these farmers in a deficit because they had nowhere to sell all the outdoor flower to. Then it just ramped up the hash production because all that outdoor flower prices dropped so low that it became more advantageous for the hash producers to just buy fresh outdoor flower and extract that into solventless. So what it's doing this year, most likely we'll see the bottom of the market this year, to where so many farmers grow so much fresh frozen for hash production that it's just going to bottom out the prices on the market, to where we're going to see tons of independent hash makers who are just buying raw fresh frozen and just making their own hash. So we're going to see like artisan craft hash makers. We're going to see blends coming out, a lot of different blends, because now people can experiment with all these different strains, and you can do non-single source hash where you're blending, 1/3 of this, 2/3 of this, a little pinch of this, and putting all these strains together and getting amazing, unique terpene profiles and and effects. So we're definitely in store for a lot of unique products to come along just because of hash. And on top of that, it's good for the environment. It's good for us. It's the way nature intended the cannabinoids and the terpenes to be delivered to us. And if you really look at it, it's been going on for centuries. It's the longest form of cannabis extraction. It's what they've been doing in the Middle East. It's what they've been doing in Asian countries. And this goes way back to ancient times. So yeah, the switch to solventless is real. All these extractors that have millions and millions of dollars in extraction facilities are just switching to basic, $10,000, $20,000 hash production technology now. And it's almost like these $1 million facilities are becoming antiquated. So that's for another video. I got a lot of other videos about different strains, about hash, about solventless products. Check it out on my YouTube channel, and go to the website highchris.com for a lot of great content and for our branding masterclass coming out in 2023. Thanks for watching.